Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the IslandStats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. We'll be soon joined by co-host Garrett Punchy Dill. At the bottom of the hour, we will be joined by the national coach, Michael Finley. As we all know, Bermuda won 2-1 yesterday against Antigua and Barbuda in the Dominican Republic, a Group D match that they had to win if they wanted a showdown come Tuesday night with the host Dominican Republic, who won their match last night 6-1 over Dominica. Going into Tuesday night's match, Bermuda trail by 3 points. The goal difference is vastly different between Bermuda and the Dominican Republic. However, finishing level on points is obviously the goal for Finley and the group. And with the result from yesterday, Bermuda will at least go into a playoff for the next round of the Nations Cup. Sidebar, we want to say congratulations to Connor Smith and the Rhode Island FC organization in their first ever season have been crowned the Eastern champions. Connor Smith, the mastermind behind Rhode Island FC, etched his name into USL Championship history after orchestrating a stunning upset over number one seed Louisville City FC in the Eastern Conference semifinal last week. And then last night, Smith guided his team to a thrilling 2-1 victory over Charleston Battery in the final, claiming the Eastern Conference crown. And they now will go for the USL title match next week after the Western County had their final late last night as well. So, again, congratulations to Connor Smith and his team, the Charleston Battery. Rhode Island, who defeated Charleston Battery in the final 2-1. And tonight, later on tonight, Zico Lewis will feature in the USL Division I final. His teammates, the Union of Omaha, will take on their opponents in about 2 hours' time. And then immediately after that, Zico will head to the Dominican Republic to see if he can help Bermuda get one batter over than on the Dominican Republic on Tuesday night. As I said at the top of the show, I am awaiting co-host Garrett Punchy Dill. We will be discussing the Bermuda 2-1 victory over Antigua and Barbuda last night in the Dominican Republic. And at the bottom of the hour, we will be joined by the national coach, Michael Finley, who will discuss yesterday's match and what needs to be cleaned up heading into this final group stage match on Tuesday night. For those that did not see the game, Bermuda got an early goal in the 8th minute. It was actually a deflected goal. They called it an own goal. McKee Wells had a shot. It was blocked by the goalkeeper. And here is actually Punchy. Good evening, Punchy. How you doing?
I'm good, Earl. I'll tell you that story afterwards. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Not a problem. Glad that you could join us. I was just breaking down the match yesterday. We're going to be joined by Michael Finley at the bottom of the hour to discuss the match yesterday. Bermuda did take a lead in the 8th minute. A shot from Nicky Wells was blocked by the goalkeeper. Kane Critchlow followed up, and his shot had gone across the goalkeeper, but unfortunately for a defender, the ball went in off of his outstretched leg, and they called it an early goal. After that goal, Antigua and Barbuda sort of came to life. They created some chances, albeit from a lot of mistakes made by the Bermuda players in the back four. And we're just fortunate enough to get away with it. Antigua had only scored one goal in the entire tournament leading into the game, and it clearly showed that they had chances, but none of them were on target until they scored that. It was a wonderful goal when it was 2-0. Bermuda scored early in the second half with Reggie Lamb doubling the score. And then, later on, that it was a wonderful strike from Antigua and Bermuda to pull within one. But Bermuda was well enough or good enough to hold them off. Did you see the match at all, Punch?
Yeah, I saw the whole match.
Yeah. I was a bit concerned. Give me your thoughts on that first half after Bermuda scored and what you saw regarding our defending part of it.
Good point. Good question to Earl. I think we spoke about this before. They were leading. They looked comfortable the first 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. And what seemed was kind of incredible to see was that, okay, you don't have to do nothing drastic and like playing out of the back, which everyone does. Mm-hmm. But a more lethal finishing, and we could have been 3-1 down by the mistakes. Playing on the back, and then actually, Detroit Bell's first time. It looked like that's something they've been doing in training. Yeah. But if it looks when you're just trying to get your feet on, you're leading 1-0, you don't need to take those risks. Mm-hmm. I thought they were taking those risks too, and it happened twice. Mm-hmm. And it's trying to play the ball into Najai Tucker, which I thought, at times you look like okay, it worked 1 or 2 times, but mm-hmm. then there's some other things they look suspect at also in terms of balls that came on the top against Dante Lavrock, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that before. Mm-hmm. His pace is of course a concern. Some of those 2 times when the ball was dropped off, he nutted. It was one-on-ones, and they were caught one-on-ones a bit too. And luckily for us, good for us that the forward, the person that the center forward didn't make the most of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But getting back to defensively, I think we talked a lot about this also. They look comfortable. Bermuda looks comfortable. You say the first 15, 20 minutes, then you start seeing those things that happen, such as against a much better team, they will be penalized right away. Yeah, and especially at the back. So if it's not working that way, I think you got to be very careful. Mm-hmm. Especially in you just have to be very careful with that. So I thought that's one thing they will fix. And then now they're leading 1-0. Then at times it looked like we start playing. We defensively still look not as solid as I thought we should have. Mm-hmm. And for sure. And it just looks like at times we look comfortable passing the ball around, right? Once we're leading 1-0, but I think at that time we have to manage the game more. We have to go forward quicker. I thought at times we should have been going forward quicker. Mm-hmm. But defensively, getting back defensively again in this type of competition, once you're leading 1-0, and so early in the game, you have to take advantage of it. And I thought we didn't. Right. We didn't take advantage I just thought we didn't. And at times we look frail at the back.
Mm-hmm. One of the other things I noted, Naki was kind of, he was trying his best, but at times they were double teaming him, and it wasn't his day. It wasn't, but I think when you see a player of his caliber like that, somebody's got to get closer to him, so he can make a pass, get that confidence going. I don't care how long you've been playing the game. Sometimes you just feel like today is not your day, but something kind of triggers it to make it your day. But when he's the one that everyone's relying on, and he he kind of put the team on his shoulders to say, I've got to score, and it just looked like a struggle yesterday for him.
Well, he's been doing really well at Bristol City. He's been scoring goals. Of course, as a striker, that's your job.
Yes.
But I thought also we talked about the finished product, the talent pass into the key wasn't there.
No.
Wasn't there at all. He made some good runs. Behind off the shoulder, he made some good runs. But you if you watching that thing, if you had to rewatch that game, you'll watch where it broke down quite a bit. Those passes that that didn't get what it should have to the key.
Right.
I thought, sometimes like even when we got the second half, a pass that should have went wide to Remy Cottington, because it was, he decided to shoot himself. But it is a center forward. There's instincts of a center forward, the behavior of a center forward.
Yeah.
He didn't have one of his best games.
Right.
Of course, I didn't think so.
Save it for Tuesday.
Save it for Tuesday. Yes. So my question is he going to be playing Tuesday, or is he left already?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Zico is actually in action tonight in the USL Division 1 championship match, and then we'll head out tomorrow to head to try and help the team for Tuesday night. We noted that Niki did leave after the first game in the last round. He didn't play that second match as he went back to Bristol City. Now, we're unsure. I guess we could ask Michael Finley that at the bottom of the hour, is Niki available for the second match of this final round Group D match against Dominican Republic, who actually won their match last night 6-1. So they took that three-point lead. They'll take that 3-point lead into that final match, and a big goal difference as well. So the plus for Bermuda is that we've put ourselves in a position to go to a playoff for the next round, and in that, we should be one of the favorites. But the game is played on the field, and if we play anybody that's willing to take their opportunity, if we give them half the chances we gave Antigua yesterday, I think we will be punished very severely. Yeah.
There are a lot of times in the game also that we look a little bit sloppy. The passes were going astray. Something that I think at times we go through those times of watching Bermuda play, and it always becomes worse. It's like I'm talking about managing the game, keeping possession when they should do, managing difficult situations defensively. And I thought at times we look a little bit too open. We look a little bit too open, too easy to counterattack on. And once we get the ball away, and how we set up defensively. The Jai Talkers, of course, is I would say is supposed to be, the playmaker. But I still think that we need someone else in there that generates he's more forward going, other than Reggie Lamb. And the Jai does a good work, plays in front of the back four. Distribution is good. But I think there's something else missing in that midfield area, in creativity wise. When the game's on the end, is there someone that can unlock the defense of a good pass? I'm talking about a midfielder that we have. And I'm going to ask Finley about that also. Who's that person that you would depend on to make that crucial pass to people like Lakeith Wells or to Reggie Lamb? Because Reggie Lamb comes back a lot to make those type of passes. And so what we find is that there's a lack of, you find isolation a lot with Lakeith Wells sometimes. And I think going back to managing the game at times, we have to manage the game. We have to be a lot better at not giving the ball away, and managing the game in that perspective. And I think we're guilty of that a lot. I think we become guilty of that. And those small things matter at this level, especially in things like Dominican Republic. You're leading for nothing, and you still look like You don't keep possession well. And that was my concern for them yesterday. Right. When the second goal was scored, I said, okay, and it was scored so early in the second half. Okay, so I'm figuring, okay, let's push on. What else? Let's push on. Let's be a little bit more. Let's go forward quicker. The gaps are opening up. Let's finish. Let's start closing them down quicker. And that's another thing I made a note of. I'm watching Germany play, and this is only, watching Germany play against what's become the norm now. High press all the time. And it was wonderful to watch Germany play that way, and watch Germany, and they beat 5-0. But I watched the intensity, how quick and fit they are. They closed on the opposition, and then once they got the ball, the distribution and quality was there. So if I can kind of bring that full circle in terms of what I'm saying is that for us, I still think that, like against Antigua, at times they had too much time on the ball. I would like to see us get there quicker, close teams down more, close up the gaps, and be a little bit more being better in once we get the ball, win the ball back.
Sure.
And go forward much quicker. I think at times we should have, often enough, I thought there was opportunities for us to go forward much quicker.
Right.
And we still elected to play the safe pass. And I think that was evident. And, at times, I think we just sat back in the blocks.
Right.
And so, like I said, watching the game, you're watching some square pass and it comes across, it goes around. But those, at that level, those channels open up. They don't stay open too long. So those passes, for me, we should, against a team like Antigua, we should be able to go forward quicker.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we'll continue this conversation in the lead up to being joined by the national coach, Michael Finley. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Are busy enough. Why not let Lindo's Drop It take a little off your plate? From St. Davis to Somerset, Drop It delivers from Lindo's straight to your door. It's easy, convenient, and leaves you with more time for friends and family. This season, let Lindo's Drop It make holiday shopping as effortless as the holidays should be. Order now and let us handle the rest. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tail fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, called the Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years. It's been clear, the silence called the Bermudian. Bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, Punchy, just before you joined us, I was bringing people up to speed on the fact that Connor Smith has led the Rhode Island FC in their first ever season in the USL Championship to the Eastern Conference title, defeating Charleston Battery last night 2-1, and now they go to the overall USL Championship match next weekend. I'm not sure who they face, but you know, having the opportunity to talk to Connor earlier this week, you know, and I asked him about the dual role. I mean, general manager and head coach. I mean, a lot of people have done it, and some have been successful. But his first season, it's going to be very tough, because everybody's going to look for this team to do even better things next season.
Oh, you know what's so fascinating about that, coming from a place like Bermuda, you know, and seeing him when we interviewed him and he brought his team here, you know, just how professional he is and what he's accomplished.
Yes.
You know, that's not an easy feat to be you know, to being the coach and the general manager.
Yes.
You know, Earl, we got to give kudos to him, man, you know. And what's so good is what, like him, Sean Gooders and David Bascom, like, especially for Connor, you know, what he's achieved. And, you know, that's a wonderful person to feed off in terms of the association and somebody to speak with in terms of the direction we're going in. And, you know, it's just, I'm very happy for him. But that tells you that a lot of us from a small country like this, you know, with how important football is to us and really is, and what he's accomplished. And what a feat, what, you know, and you can imagine that job must be very, very demanding.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You know, it's funny. It's funny because I smile a lot because in the years going by, even in the press in Bermuda, they've considered any football in the United States as non-football because, you know, they just think the English style, European style, or English football is the best football. So we'll ignore anybody playing in the U.S. or coaching in the U.S. Now it's come full circle where the, you know, they're almost forced to do it now because here you have Kano in a final, Zico in a final later tonight. You know, so the U.S. game now has to be respected because Bermudians are involved. And now it's like, okay, if we ignore it, what do people say?
Yeah. What about Nesbitt? What about Nesbitt also?
Yeah. Yeah. Leilani and even Nia Christopher is playing in the USL or the women's USL first division in Florida. So, you know, we have these people who have been out there doing the business and kind of, you know, doing what the others are doing in the UK, which is the bowl is the same, the fields are the same, the girls are the same. It's just you're playing in a different country.
Let's go back to college level, the NCAA one, at the school level. You know, the top colleges, who they recruit. They recruit, you know, and years ago when I was playing over there, they recruited a lot of players from overseas. But now it's a lot of Americans coming through playing for those colleges now. Yeah, the Clemsons, University of Kentucky. I can go on and on out west, and especially in New Jersey on the East Coast. There are very good teams in there, and the MLS is you know, it's a quality. But again, like you said, repeating what you said about you know, what we think is being ignored in terms of it's that league ain't that good, but they are. And going back to Canada, he proved it when he brought his team, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
You just saw totally equality, and in that and that's looking in that division, and so it is really, you know, before a lot of us were going overseas, a lot of children were going to England now, which is the norm. A lot of them are going overseas to Canada and United States to play in the college soccer.
Yeah.
But that seems not to be the norm now. And so I want people to understand that you know your son will get a good education, he gets a good scholarship playing, and he'll play at a very high level in the United States. and also in the NCAA number 2. It's good soccer.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
again, what we tend to think that's not good, and it's if you were to take, and I say this a lot, if you were to take a team, maybe one of the teams of the first division here, and go play on an NCAA team against Clemson, against the teams like Duke, oh, it wouldn't be easy. You would be surprised what you would come up against.
And I think if we go back to when Connor brought Rhode Island here, a lot of people cried foul about the result because they look at and it's been a habit of looking at the U.S. football or soccer as a much lower standard than anywhere else. When it's totally different. Totally different. They proved it. Connor's got this group together. Most of them just out of college, players, but they've proven that they can play football and match all their opponents as they've made it through to the championship game.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing in Canada also.
Yeah.
The Canadian Football Soccer League. It's I mean. Even the schools, the colleges over there.
Yeah.
You got to go to education. Again, because there's so many of us that they going to England, and that's again, it seems to be the norm now, where the parents says, "Look, you get a better chance over there." But there are setbacks to that because I would think that a lot of them that are not making the academies in England could go on to be very good with an education in top colleges in the United States.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh, that's right. And I can't get to tell you that if you go to any school now in the United States, in the top colleges, they have good coaches over there now, coaches that have come from Europe, and everybody's learning. You're not to see at college level at NCAA, or you go to a game with Connor Smith's teams playing in, or where Zico Lewis playing in. The quality is really high. It's good. So, it's a false belief thinking that, those leagues are not good. They are very good.
Yeah. I just do want to make mention that the Union of Omaha have won their match 3-0. They've defeated Spokane 3-0 in the final. The USL won the final. So congratulations to Zico Lewis and his teammates. Zico did not score, but to be a champion and heading down to the Dominican as a champion must be a good feeling for him. And to try and lift the rest of the Bermuda team.
Yeah, that's a must. That he'll be on his flight tonight. I guess he's got to travel to do it.
Well, we're gonna take a second commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna be joined by the national coach Michael Finley, and we'll get all the updated news on what's ahead for Tuesday, but looking back at yesterday's match. Coach Finley will be right with you right after this commercial break.
Over the pink sands, beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long-tailed fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years, it's been clear. This silence proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. This silence proudly Bermudian. This silence proudly Bermudian.
down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Holidays are busy enough. Why not let Lindo's Drop It take a little off your plate? From St. Davis to Somerset, Drop It delivers from Lindo's straight to your door. It's easy, convenient, and leaves you with more time for friends and family. This season, let Lindo's Drop It make holiday shopping as effortless as the holidays should be. Order now and let us handle the rest. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, as we said, we'll be joined by the men's national coach, Michael Finley. Good evening, Coach. How are you this evening?
Good to see you, Earl. Garrett, nice to be here.
Yeah, so obviously yesterday was a vital, a very important match for Bermuda. Break it down for us from your standpoint on the sideline.
Yeah, I think first of all, you're correct as it relates to the importance of the game. You know, the whole objective was to get 3 points to continue the momentum that we've been building over the last 2 windows, and for us to stay in the hunt for an automatic place in the 2025 Gold Cup. So that was first and foremost the most important thing, and at the end of the day, gaining the 3 points is exactly what we desired. From a match point of view, I think we were obviously disappointed, I think, in the fact that we did not complete the task a little earlier in the game. I think we let a lot of opportunities go in some critical areas. And at the end of the day, once again, we made it difficult for ourselves. The good news is we were able to see it out, and in some ways that's an incredibly positive thing and shows growth, because sometimes when you struggle and sometimes when you have to battle against teams such as Antigua Barbuda, who was really playing for their lives to stay in League B, you end up tying or losing matches like that, and we didn't. So that's something we need to celebrate, that we're able to sustain some of the pressure, even though we would rather have not been in that situation. But at the end of the day, we move on to Tuesday night.
Yeah. And obviously going into the game, your message to the players for the duration of the 90 minutes, what was your message to them?
Well, the message was we needed to be on the front foot and continue to do what we have been doing, which is controlling the tempo of games. Statistically, this team is gifted, and we spend lots of time controlling large portions of the game. We seem to be on top of the statistical part of the game, but we continue to struggle sometimes in the critical areas in the final product. So we wanted to continue doing what we were doing well, but we wanted to be on the front foot and try and put ourselves in a better situation to execute. And we did do that in the first 20-25 minutes, but we didn't finish the task, and that's what at the end of the day creates problems. You saw it. We came out in the second half after having a discussion and addressing the matters, and we came out in the second half and did similar to what we did in the first half, and we scored. But then once again we took our foot off the gas, and we need to bring a higher tempo to our press, a higher tempo to our fight. So when we do see ourselves gaining success, we'll then be able to execute on a more regular basis.
Yeah. Punchy, you want to jump in?
Yeah, how you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you?
Congratulations. I know you're not fully satisfied, I'm sure you, but again, congratulate you on that. Me and I was speaking about the fact about when you looked so much in control of the game, the first 15 to 25 minutes, and your possession game, your movement, the quality was definitely, it was a good watch. And, when I turned the TV on, I was like, wow. but then you start seeing lapses. I don't know if that lapses in concentration. I think you could put it down to that. That just small things happen. They start giving the ball away in critical areas, and that was noticeable trying with Detroit. I know it looks like it's been trained that Detroit trying to play the ball into Najai Tucker, so on the top of the edge of our box. Now I saw him do it a couple of times. They got away with it. So what Antigua done was force Mr. Tucker. They just but I thought that at times it was a little bit risky. I thought at times in those situations, then we started to look like we panic a bit in possession that led to that. Is there something when your team is in control and your team looked very well in control of that match? And is there something that was still not like what you were saying also about being always on the front and make sure we correct those little small things when we're in control? Are we still having a problem with that?
Well, I think first of all, and you make the point there about playing out of the back and our attack initiation, and you highlighted that moment where Nijai's tried to do a little step over and get out of that space. We've always said from the very beginning, and it's my belief system is that I wanted these players to play with no fear. I think we have quality that we can play very effective possession-based, objective-based football, and playing out of the back, knowing we thought they were potentially going to slide back into a lower block. They didn't do that, which they had done against Dominican Republic. They actually stepped out and occupied us higher up the pitch. So we wanted to drag them towards us so we could play through them. Was that the right ball to play at the time? Probably there's an argument there. It may have been where the ball was played. But we have to be aware if we're going to do that, we're going to have a very high quality of execution and confidence, which we instill in the players. But I think the more important part of this is that we have to be better in the regain and the reactionary periods of the game and not get so under pressure in the transition periods. That's been a problem we've had, and that's something we consistently work on. And it's that initial, regain of the ball, that fighting mentality of, but if we lose it, how quickly can we get it back? And that's when we need people around the ball. So, those are areas that we have to be very, very aware of, and we have to continue to work on them, or they're going to cost us. To the same point, though, you are correct. I mean, we controlled pretty much, I'd say 65% of the first half, where we never looked like we were going to be under any real stress. But again, the game is about scoring goals, and even when you have players of the quality we have in our attacking third, they just didn't execute at that moment in time. So that's when it becomes a little bit more of a fight, because the other team sees opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I think that some of the statistics that I took yesterday's game, I talk about. I think from the key Wells, the right ball being played through, I think it broke down a lot once we were in possession. Even when we were leading 1-0, we looked so comfortable. But that last telling pass just seemed never to get there to Naki. And we're looking at the shots that were taken and being a little even. I think that was also a problem yesterday with us, that we were in so much control of the game. And then before panic starts setting in. But Coach, the other thing is that Zico Lewis now is on his way. Am I correct? Is Zico Lewis heading?
Yeah, Zico Lewis, the champion, you can call him now, because their team won tonight. So we're really happy for Zico. Yes, he's on his way here now. I don't know his exact travel details, but he will join us tomorrow. So he will be available for selection. We'll first and foremost get a medical review on him and see how he feels after playing. But that shows you a lot about the commitment that Zico has, and all of our players have, that he wanted to be here immediately following a championship game. So he's probably going to miss some of the celebrations with his own teammates to come and represent Bermuda, which I'm incredibly pleased and thankful that he's doing so.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach, the other thing I want to ask you is Naki Wells available for Tuesday's game?
That will be decided here probably in the next 24 hours. We're going through our post-match medical scenarios, and we'll be having right after I speak to you, we'll be sitting down with the staff and looking at all the different scenarios. And so Nicky's available to do that. Whether he will or will not will be decided this evening. So because there's always situations with each of these players that we're dealing with. Niki's a prime example of that in terms of what his professional position is right now with Bristol City. So we have a very good working relationship with him and the club. And so we'll be discussing that. And any announcement on that will be done probably late tonight or tomorrow morning.
Sure. Coach, let me ask you, what are the pluses we take away from yesterday's performance?
Well, if you were going to, sort of itemize them, number one, the 3 points. Without those 3 points, we wouldn't be in a position to either compete for a direct qualification on Tuesday, and we wouldn't have put ourselves in a position of being one of the best second place teams, which would then put us into the playoff in 2025. So first and foremost, it's 3 points. The second thing I would say, and the staff has said, is the resilience. It was not easy, just as Garrett said there. We controlled large portions of the game, which we have been doing in most of the games lately, and we've been building. We've had objectives, but we put ourselves under some stress. And when we do get through those situations, those are really incredibly important building blocks that players start to see that things will go well for us. Because I look at other games that I have been involved with in football, and also with Bermuda, the St. Vincent and Grenadine game back in 2023, my second game. That was a game of 5 minutes of madness, and we lose. So to not lose in those situations and be able to manage the scenarios and have the togetherness to do that would probably be the second one. I think once again, probably the third one was the inclusion of different players into the lineup at different times. We had Remy Coddington coming back into the team in this window. Blaze Hall continues to provide us options in a number of scenarios. Dietrich Bell coming in and stepping in for Dale. These are very, very good situations that continue to help us get better, but also get deeper, because that's the biggest challenge in CONCACAF when it comes to putting 2 matches together, is making sure you have a deep squad.
Yeah, and talking about a deep squad, obviously we're playing a lot more international football now. For anyone on island having that ambition and goal to represent the country, what would your message be to those players who are locally representing their club but want to have that opportunity to represent Bermuda?
Well, I think it's very similar to what we've been doing with the evaluation and assessment of the domestic player. We have a secondary list that we're working on through the Premier League, and through having JB and Kenny on island, and having eyes, and me coming on when I do to sit down and discuss it with these players. But the message to all of them is this: there are a number of examples of players who have come in domestically, and they are part of the group and are pushing us to make decisions. We say to all the players all the time, you need to put dilemma in the coaching staff. If it was easy for us to pick 11, I don't see a lot of success. But if we have a dilemma and we have to make choices, that tells us we're going in the right direction. And I certainly believe that is the case right now. The other message I would say to all the domestic players is this: number one, you have to start living an elite lifestyle. You have to start working on your game, not just on the weekends or your training sessions. You need to do extra, because you're in an environment that does not give you regular professional football or regular programming. The reality is a lot of the responsibility lies on you. And that means living that high performance lifestyle, making sure that when a call does come, that you're physically ready to come in. Julian Carpenter, David coming in because of injuries that we've had in our 9. They were prepared, and they've shown in this camp that they were prepared to come in. So to all those players, we are looking at them. We are constantly evaluating. We're looking to fill our gaps. The numbers prove that any team that has advanced in CONCACAF in any of the last 3 rotations of World Cup has used 35 players plus. So you need to get to that point where when you move the pieces around, they may not be exactly similar, but they hopefully will give a similar competency level and an understanding of what the team needs from them positionally, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
Coach, Coach, I'm still glad. Okay.
Coach, we're going to take our final commercial break. When we come back, I'll let Punchy jump in, and then you can give your synopsis on what we can look forward to on Tuesday night. We'll be right back.
You bet.
Over the pink sands, beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years, it's been clear. It's silence proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
It's that time again. The Bermuda FA Cup is coming up. Join us for a season of excitement, unity, and unforgettable games. Lindo's is thrilled to sponsor the Bermuda FA Cup, supporting a Bermudian tradition that brings us together. Come for the teams, stay for the atmosphere, and let's celebrate as a community. Lindo's, where football and family come together. Why go anyplace else?
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
And welcome back. Go ahead, Punchy.
Coach, I'm so glad you brought that point up about home-based players being physically and mentally ready for what you require to be selected for the national program. I'm so glad you made that statement, Coach. It's been very noticeable. It's been talked about here. What the standards that you have set to be even thought about to be selected for your team, and I applaud you for that. And I being myself talking to a lot of players and saying, listen, what the new coach of Bermuda wants is that you be physically ready and mentally ready. And if you get selected, if you do get selected, then he sees something in that. But the other thing I want to ask you about, Coach, is the goalkeeping department. The goal that was scored. What was your giving on D-Trey Bell's display on against Antigua? What did you think about him? This first goal, the goal that was scored, I thought when the ball was dropped over, the winger it was 1-on-1. He turned the defender inside out. I thought the defender should have kept him towards the line. I thought he reacted too early. He was easily beaten, then he cut inside. What was your thought in terms of D-Trey's performance?
Well, first of all, it was great to get D-Trey into the game. I mean, D-Trey has been a longtime servant of the program, and let's be honest, being a goalkeeper is a difficult situation, specifically at the international level, because once a goalkeeper takes up a position, it generally is about mistakes that take them out of that position. So it's very hard to bide your time, and DJ has bided his time. He's worked very closely with John, our goalkeeping coach, who has a very good understanding of what the standard of international football is. He's got a very good relationship with all our goalkeepers. We're trying to expand that area also in terms of depth, and it's nice to be able to see that we brought back Shaquille for this camp because of the availability factor, but we've got some other young goalkeepers. So when they came into camp here, John was able to get a good assessment, and given what D-Trey's work has been and understanding of how the way we want to play, he was the one who was selected, and I think his performance was admirable. He number one, the goal that you mentioned, first and foremost, the ball should never have got to the far end winger, because we should have had pressure on the ball higher up the pitch to deny a long pass like that. You may not be able to win the ball, but you certainly should be in the way of that player being able to direct a change of attack like that, given the amount of players we had around the ball. So that was mistake number one. Mistake number two, and Reese took full ownership of it, was that he misjudged the flight of the ball, which then went over him, and he started to track him. And the boy shimmied him, and he didn't decelerate, and he went to the line, and it was a good point you just made, that he probably should have slowed down sooner and just marshaled him two down to the line. The strike, I think you got to take your hand off. The guys picked it out into the top corner. But probably more importantly around DJ is he had to make a save a number of minutes later that was critical for us to make sure that we regained the 3 points. So for me, I was really pleased for him. As I said, he's been waiting for an opportunity, and he's been given one here. And hopefully he continues to take it to the best of his ability. All of our goalkeepers, John is very specific about what we want them to do and how they work with our attack initiation. And we want goalkeepers who are comfortable with the possession of the ball at their feet, because that's where a lot of our attack and a lot of our buildup will come from. And that's no different than any other modern day team internationally at a club level. So if you don't have that type of goalkeeper, you may have to change the way you play. We believe we have those type of goalkeepers, and it's good to see that we're able to dip into the pool, and someone comes and puts in a performance that assists the entire team getting 3 points.
Coach, I don't want to let your secret out now. I don't know if I should be asked the question. So for Tuesday night against the Dominican Republic, yes, what are your I shouldn't even actually. What are your plans? What do you think we need to do? What do you think we need to do better?
Well, first and foremost, we need to be less complacent when we're in the match, and as I tell you, we need to work very hard at the scenarios around the losses of possession. We need to regain the ball quicker. We need to, I think, just up our tempo and our fight. I think we have the qualities. I think we showed them in the first game against the Dominican Republic, which was a very disappointing result for us, because we are probably in the best position to gain 3 points there, and we were a crossbar away from probably putting the game away. And as I say, football works in a very mysterious way, and we end up losing that game, which in my opinion, we should never have lost. But there was 2 or 3 critical errors that were punished by a very experienced Dominican Republic team. So we're looking forward to, same application for us. We'll look at it here. Today was a recovery day. We'll meet tonight to discuss Antigua Barbuda. And then tomorrow we begin preparation for Tuesday, which is all around, what we'll look at tactically and what we'll look at from our selection point of view. But to be fair, there's no real secrets in football. We just have to do what we do well, and I have great confidence in these guys that they will deliver. But there are different parts of the game that this program is still in its growing phase. It's been about a year and a bit for me, and we're just starting to see, this taking hold. And there is going to be situations where we trip, but there's also going to be some great opportunities like Tuesday where we can grow even more. So, so we want everybody to be still in the same frame of mind, looking forward to it. It's an opportunity. Currently, right now, yes, it might take an enormously successful performance, but we're still in a position that if if we win and we win by a certain amount, we go to the Gold Cup directly. Is it more advantageous to believe that, we'll probably be in the playoff situation? That's something to take into account. But number one, we need a strong performance, both emotionally and tactically and technically. And we need to bring energy to the game so we can walk away on Tuesday night having a better idea what our 2025 looks like.
Yeah. Well, Coach, from us here and our viewers and so forth, we want to wish that you and the team all the best for Tuesday night coming up. The boys, we know, will be geared up and ready for a bit of revenge against the Dominican Republic. As you've indicated, we had 5 minutes of a nightmare in that match. The last match we played them, we clean up that and we could end up on the right side of this on Tuesday night. So we want to wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's all about the details as we build forward. So thanks for your best wishes. It's always nice to be with you guys. And we want to, once again, thanks the fans for all those kind messages that they send out to the players. And they're very, very excited about once again representing the country and playing in games that really mean something. And I will close on saying what Garrett said. I think it's really important that our domestic group of players realize, the opportunities will present themselves, but there's a lot of responsibility they have to take at this moment in time if they want to play at this level. And we're excited to include them if they are. So we look forward to seeing you when after the Tuesday night game.
All right. Well, folks, we want to thank you for joining us here on the IslandStats.com football show. And we want to thank Coach Finley for joining us tonight as well. Enjoy your night. We'll be back next week, Sunday, with another edition of the Island Stats football show. Good night.
All the best,
Coach. Thank you very much.